everybody. Welcome back to another daily drop here on TarHeelIllustrated.com. I'm THI publisher Andrew Jones. Topic today, Carolina football. We are 2.5, almost 3 weeks into fall camp, which concludes Saturday with the team's scrimmage. And we've had a chance to be around the team a lot, had a chance to watch practices, talk to players and coaches almost every day after practice. So we got a pretty good handle on where this team stands right now. And with that, we want to outline what we think are the three best position groups on the team at this juncture. Doesn't mean that by the end of October, everyone will say these are the three best position groups. You know how the season gets. Things are often different than anybody expects going in. But at this stage, these are the three position groups we think are the best on the Tar Heels. Before I get into it, very quick reminder, for just $8.33 a month, you can get a 1-year subscription to Tar Heel Illustrated and be a Carolina Tar Heel insider. Not to mention the fact that while you'll have tons of knowledge, tons more than you have now about the Tar Heels, you get to hang out in a community of people like you, passionate Carolina fans who understand the Tar Heels. You know how to spell the names. You know what year the kids are in. You actually know the stats, and you actually don't think that the best player in Carolina football history is, let's say, Omarion Hampton. Point being, there's a lot of history behind that. These are people that know history of Carolina football. They know the history of Carolina basketball, and they have very healthy conversations about recruiting. People like you. They care. They're passionate. It's a place to hang out with like-minded folks. Plus, you get all the inside information that we create on our website, all the premium content that we have. And with football season here and basketball just around the corner now, is a perfect time to go ahead and do so. Okay, the three best position groups on the team. I'm going to start out, I'm not going in any specific order here, but I'm going to start out with safety. And I say this because the experience back there is unbelievable. There are 4 safeties. The Tar Heels are truly too deep right now at safety. They have 4 guys. They got Will Hardy, Stick Lane, Jakeen Harris, and they have DeAndre Boykins, who 2 years ago started at the star position, played 931 snaps at the star, missed last season with the ACL injury. Between those 4 players, Carolina has 5,925 career snaps. Basically 6,000 snaps at safety. That's impressive. And some of these guys have been good. Harris missed all of last year basically with an injury as well. Stick Lane, his first year at Carolina, took him a while to battle. He was banged up a little bit. He arrived in Chapel Hill in the summer, so it took him a while to catch up. Will Hardy said he never really found his grounding last year because he was banged up when the season started and just never really caught up. So these are 4 guys all with something to prove. These are all 4 guys that cannot be judged on the last time we saw them play. They're better. They're playing at a much higher level right now. They are the talk of camp. When you talk about what position group has stood out, most people say safety as the first position group they mentioned. Another one is obvious, is tight end. Does Carolina have the best tight end group in the country? You could make that argument. There are some people in the football world that believe that Carolina has 3 tight ends right now that will play in the NFL. Bryson Nesbitt is an obvious one. John Copenhaver, very likely play in the NFL. Jake Johnson, if you saw the season he had last year at Texas A&M, that stuff had future NFL written all over it. And now you've got those 3 guys. It's an upgrade from what the Tar Heels had last year. I think Johnson long-term is an upgrade over Kamari Morales, in part because Morales was injured last year, so he wasn't totally himself. Copenhaver was injured last year. He had a hoof. In fact, he had the hand injury and still caught the touchdown pass against South Carolina after sustaining that injury. So the Tar Heels are really, really strong at tight end. In fact, I see a scenario where all 3 are on the field at the same time. You've got Copenhaver and Johnson lining up in 12 personnel, and you can run a lot of stuff out of that, especially with the run game that we anticipate Carolina will have. And then over here lining up as a receiver is Bryson Nesbitt, because he's doing both in practice, a literal wide receiver. He's sort of a hybrid tight end wide receiver, and the league is going in that direction a little bit more. Arade Gadsden up at Syracuse is another example of a guy like that. Plus, if you line up Nesbitt out there and you have whoever else on the other edge, you got J.J. Jones, Jordan Shipp in time because of his length. You got some long guys to run those fades, and you've got Omarion in the middle. Carolina could do some interesting stuff. It's scoring touchdowns has not been a strength, especially in the second half of the last couple of seasons. I think with this type of personnel, this kind of personnel, the Tar Heels have a chance if the O-line is better than it was a year ago, like Mac Brown and others keep saying, then they have a chance to be more efficient with touchdowns in the red zone, and the tight end room be a big part of that. The other thing is running back behind Omarion Hampton. Omarion just named earlier this week preseason first-team All-America by the Sporting News. He's that guy. He's him. But what about behind him? He can't play every snap. You've got three guys who can, I think, be trusted on the field. Davion Goss is a true freshman who is super fast. He can pass block. He might be the best pass blocker on this team already. He can catch stuff. He can float over the middle. He can run the wheel route. You could do a lot of things with him. He's very, very well versed and skilled and experienced in a passing game because his high school threw the ball a lot, and they had a fairly sophisticated passing attack. So he stepped in to things back in the spring, and nothing was super foreign to him. He kind of took off running early on. Caleb Hood is someone who has had his moments, but unfortunately the moments end quickly because he's had so many injuries. If he's healthy this year, staff loves him. He's going to play. He's going to play a lot. And then you got Darwin Barlow, the transfer from Southern Cal, a kid who's run for 1,000 yards in his career, scored 11 touchdowns. He's someone who went to Carolina knowing Omarion Hampton is there and not going anywhere. He understood it's a role. He wants to play a role. He says he can catch the ball in the backfield. He can run wide. He can run tight. He did acknowledge here about a week ago that one of the adjustments was so much of Carolina's running is more tight, inside zone type stuff, as opposed to Southern Cal running a lot more sweeps and a lot more on the edge. So he's adapting to that. But if he's your fourth guy or just one of those other three, the fact that they can go four deep, as long as everyone's healthy, is very much a positive in that room because the guy at the front of the room, he's big-time stud. So you start with big-time stud and then three other serviceable dudes. That makes that a fantastic room. So those are the three rooms right now. You've got safety, you've got tight end, and you've got running back. There are others, and I want to know if you would rank maybe another group as one of the top three over one of the groups that we have mentioned here today. Let us know. We want to know what you guys think. This is all subjective. It's preseason talk. We'll know for sure when the bullets start flying here in a couple of weeks in Minneapolis. And I look forward to being up there and reporting back to you guys about everything that I can glean from that game. And of course, this season, if you do have another one that you want on the list, just let us know. Let us know DM on Twitter. My email's up there. You can send me an email. I mean, I get a lot of them. I'm not worry about giving out my email, so you can do that, or you can do it on Facebook, or you can just tweet right at us. Tell us what you think. Anyway, I'm AJ, and I very much appreciate y'all stopping by.